I took in all the moments, all the fight week. It is probably the best boxing experience I've ever had. I don't really mind, but I would love a rematch with Martinez. It would be great. Like, I mean, I think it'd be a nice Martinez Harris too. Like.
Hello and welcome back to On the Canvas for TotalSport. Unfortunately, we've been away for a few weeks because my co-host has been away getting engaged to his beautiful wife. So congratulations to Has if you're watching this. But luckily, I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by former flyweight European title holder and former world title challenger, Jay Harris. How are you, mate?
Yeah, what's happening, mate? Yeah, really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. How have you been going in this difficult time?
Yeah, so far it ain't been too good. At the start was crap, I would say, because we had no gym. Well, I was saying at the start we had a gym, and then it got shut down, and then we had nothing for a good few weeks, and then so it was pretty much just trying to do home workouts and running and stuff like that. So that was pretty rubbish. But then lucky enough, Wales announced then that they could open the gyms, which was good. So we got straight back into it. Now it's really, really good.
Yeah, I actually did a piece in March about boxers and how they're training differently. Was there anything you did at home that kept yourself ticking over?
I was just doing a lot of runs. And home circuits, pretty much. And I even did a couple of pads out the back with my old man.
So I want to start talking about your boxing career. When was the first time you laced up a pair of gloves, and what was the reasons for getting into boxing?
I was 12 years old when I first put on a pair of gloves, and I got through boxing through a friend. He introduced me to the gym. I asked my old man. I went back to my house, all sweaty, and then next thing my dad is like, if you want to take it serious, I'm gonna have to start training you. So that's what pretty much happened. He come up with me up to the Gwent and then trained me since I've been 12 years old.
Did you fall in love with it straight away then, or did it develop over
The only
time?
thing I was ever good at, if I'm honest. I tried football and tried rugby and tried everything else. I was way too small for rugby. I'm only 5'5", and it all built like 18 stone men and stuff like that. There's no way I could compete in that, and I was very good at football. So yeah, I took to boxing pretty well, and yeah, I've never looked back since.
Yeah, so I'm going to make a little admittance here. For the first 16 fights of your career, I didn't know too much about you, and then I watched you against Paddy Barnes, and that was the first time where I had seen you. And although you were unbeaten in them 16 fights beforehand, you were considered an underdog. In my opinion, because I knew who Paddy Barnes was and I knew what he'd done in the amateur game, etc. Looking back at that fight, what was your overriding memories of it? And do you feel since that fight, your career has changed in some ways?
Yeah, pretty much. That whole experience of going over to Ireland and everything in his backyard was a great day. It was a great weekend. Yeah, the whole build up to it was very good. I knew Paddy Barnes previous anyway. I did sparring with him. I think he had me up for what was it? One of his camps anyway. He had me up. I think it could have been Rosales maybe. So I knew in my ability, I knew what I could do. I knew I could beat him. So when the fight got offered to me, it was a no-brainer to me, even though it was in Belfast. And I knew he was like the golden kid over there, and everybody respected him. And but yeah, I thought it didn't really matter. A ring's a ring, and there's only two people fighting at the end of the day. And I took it to him and come away with a win.
In recent times, I think of amateurs that go to professional, and they sometimes struggle, don't they? Like, I think of Thomas Stalker, for example, fantastic amateur, then he struggled to pro game. Why do you think people like Paddy Barnes see the jump in levels so fast compared to what they've achieved in the amateur game?
I think it's the transition. I think it's amateur is very fast for like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that at a pro game because obviously the rounds are longer and you have to pace yourself. But yeah, the style's a bit different. Not everyone can adjust to the pro game. You've seen it many times as it goes. As you just said, Tom Stoker was another one. I think even though Frankie Gavin was good, but he peeled off at the end, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, it does happen. Some people, if they like that, I don't know why they just don't. If they're on podium squad and in the GB and they get podium, I don't know why they don't just stay amateur. They get a lot of money for what they're doing, to be fair.
Oh, so off the back of the Paddy Barnes fight, you then got your world title shot in Matchroom in Texas on the undercard of Mikey Garcia. You were fighting Julio Cesar Martinez, who we literally saw a few months ago fold Charlie Edwards in half.
Yeah.
When you were heading up to America, what were your thoughts, at fighting such a devastating puncher?
Do you know what? When the fight when it got offered to me, it was a no-brainer. WBC World Title, and it was just a no-brainer. As soon as it got offered, I was like, yes, no worries, I'll take it. But I knew what he was capable of, this Martinez. But in my head, I thought I was a better boxer. So I just embraced everything that I did going over there. Took in all the moments, all the fight week. It is probably the best boxing experience I've ever had. All the fight week, so we got there I think we got there 9 days before, and the first 2 days I think it was just trying to get used to where we were and what was around and all that stuff. And then once the head-to-heads and the interviews and the press conferences and stuff started to happen, it really started to sink in. And it was just a mad, surreal moment. Like I remember we were out on the Ford Centre, like the American football pitch place. And I was standing next to like Joseph Parker, as you said, Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas. I had Chocolatito next to me. Well, good friend of mine, Calify, and Julio Cesar Martinez. We were all just standing in a row, and I was just thinking, this is the big time boxing now. This is nuts. And it felt like that, and I just embraced it all. I took it all in, and I think that's what you have to do in them sorts of situations. If you haven't been there before, even just getting your shot, just take it all in. I would have thought, just take it all in. You might not get there again, and it could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. But hopefully, in my part, it's not going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm going to get another shot.
I think you will after that performance. But just before we go into the actual fight, what was the holes you saw in Martinez's? Because when I was watching him against Charlie Edwards, to be honest, I thought like this guy was like this 5'3" or whatever he is, absolute wrecking ball. What were the holes you saw in him?
His defense is not very good. If you look at him, he's very flat-footed. His defense is very wild. But what he does do right is he's very strong, and he hits hard, and he's relentless. He'll just keep on plodding forward no matter what. I think it was the right result, but I think the scorecards were a bit way out.
Yeah.
I would have to be fair, I would have given it 115, 113 because of the knockdown and stuff like that I had and stuff. I thought that 115 or the other judge, which was like 4 rounds or something, maybe, because some of the rounds, if I watched it back, they were tight, and for some reason they give it to the champion, didn't they? A lot of the tight rounds.
You said about embracing it, and I think that was a theme in the fight, because every time I thought, Martinez was about to start overwhelming, do his usual, overwhelm, start really hustling out opponents, you just kept coming back. So like in that 10th round when he did get dropped, I just thought, the character you showed really showed that you were at world level.
Yeah.
Do you feel if there was supposed to be a potential rematch, you've taken away small things that help you improve if that bout did come around next time?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. As I said, I've learned a lot from that fight, and we've gone back and we just try and work on the stuff that I did wrong and come back better and stronger.
Are you still targeting the WBC title, or are you looking at other avenues? Or
I don't really mind, but I would love a rematch with Martinez. It would be great. Like, do you know what I mean? I think it'd be a nice Martinez Harris too. Like, but if the other opportunities come up, at the other world titles, I'll take them as well.
Is he as big a puncher as Eddie Hearn likes to wax lyrical about?
Do you know what? I don't think he had the punch to like knock me clean out and done, but I would give it to him. Like, it's with both hands. So they did it. Like, yeah, they did it. I'm not gonna lie.
So, we're talking about Martinez and potential rematches, but first, you have got your next fight, which at the time of recording is a week today. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And you're taking on Marcel Braithwaite for the Commonwealth title. For people that haven't seen Braithwaite, how would you describe him as a boxer?
I think he is a good boxer. He can be awkward. He's got a mixture of. He's a switch hitter as well. He can box southpaw and orthodox. I watched his last fight with Sonny Edwards. He did quite well with Sonny Edwards as well, the first couple of rounds anyway. Yeah, so I'm expecting a really good fight. I'm glad I've got a really good fighter coming back to, because I didn't really want some body really that I could just blow over in a couple of rounds. It get me nothing, if I'm honest, and I'd have no respect for that. Like, so I'm glad that Marcel is taking the fight, and I think it's going to be a very good fight, I think.
I don't want to go overboard or overlook this, but do you feel, because you're not obviously going down to the journeyman level fighting blowovers, as you say, do you think it's probably good preparation just to get back in there, and then if you do win this fight, God willing, you can then go on back into a world title mix?
Yes, exactly. That's what the plan is. But as I said, I don't overlook Marcel. He's a good fighter, so I just got to stay focused on Marcel and don't overlook him at all. Don't underestimate anybody.
This is your second fight of the year, which is, given the current climate, that's quite impressive. A lot of fighters aren't even getting out at all. Obviously, with MTK, I hear a lot about how they look after their fighters. Just talk me through what they specifically do and how they've helped you in your career so far.
Well, since I've signed with MTK, bloody hell, they've helped me massively, if I'm honest. They at the start, before I signed with them, I was in a shed pretty much. I was put on the sidelines. I was Commonwealth champion. I couldn't defend my title. With the Warren and that, they wouldn't put me on any of their shows. Then a couple of good promoters there, like friends of my manager and stuff, Mo Pryor and Richie Garner, they've managed to get me out on their small hall shows they did. Mo Pryor actually got me out defending my Commonwealth title against Ross Murray. And then after that, I think my contract ran out with Frank Warren. And then I was like pretty much a free agent, free fighter. And MTK come knocking and said they'll sign me. And I pretty much, within a space of a year, I had a warm-up fight with Brett Fidoe. I won the EBU title straight after in July. I fought Paddy Barnes in October, and I fought for a world title in February. So they literally changed my whole boxing life around. And now they got me out now in October, doing all this, which is fantastic. Like, as you said, some people who are on with small promoters and stuff like that, they're not going to get out this year. It's just so mad. Like, if you're not with like Eddie Earn or Frank Warren or yourself with like MTK, it's going to be really tough to get out.
Yeah. Do you see boxers that are finding it difficult to get out quit the sport for good, or they'll keep holding on?
Could well that one, because you don't really know how long this is going to last, see? No. And how long, because these smaller promoters, they need crowds. They need crowds to get the money and to pay the fighters and everything like that. So and there could be a lot of good talent in there as well. Do you know what I mean? Could be a lot of good fighters that are missing out on this, and you will see them retiring, which is a shame.
Like you say, the likes of Lewis Ritson, yourself, Josh Warrington even came from the small shows, didn't they? So they're not coming out, or they're not given an opportunity to. Then who knows? In a couple of years' time, there will be a knock-on effect when we're not producing the quality of boxer required.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. But hopefully, hopefully by sometime next year, start of next year, this will all be blown over, and the crowds and stuff will be able to come to shows and help boxers, smaller promoters start get going again.
You mentioned you leaving Frank Warren. I've actually been to a few MTK global shows, and I'm so impressed by the level of production, and especially in the last few years, the developments in terms of the matchmaking. It's been excellent. Do you see MTK slightly, getting closer to Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn levels, or are they still?
I hope so.
Yeah.
They've got the fight. They've signed loads of good fighters. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like the ones that say maybe Frank Warren and stuff, Eddie Hearn don't like. They don't bother with anymore. Then MTK signed them up and then rebuild their bloody career, and they get back. They get in top fights again. It's like I got Frank Warren got rid of me, and then I was fighting in the world title fight in February, just gone. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think they're taking over, and they're one of the best around, I think.
Is it because they're willing to work with anybody? So say if there's an offer to go on a matchroom show, where they would let you go on that, where we've seen before where the likes of Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, they don't quite work together.
Yeah,
MTK.
that works in a good way. Yeah, definitely. Going on different shows, obviously, it works a hell of a lot. Do you know what I mean? Because you could have a good fighter, you could be well up in the rankings, and Eddie might have the boy that you meant to fight, and then obviously the match gets made, and then MTK will fair enough will let you go on either the matchroom or the Warren card, which is a good thing. It's a good thing for boxing. It should happen anyways. Stuff like that should happen. Because there's fights out there, potential fights that could be crackers.
I'm always thinking, when I think about Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, I'm always thinking Joshua Buatsi v Anthony Yard. But we hopefully get that.
Great fight. There's loads out there.
Yeah, there is. So, Jay, if we were going to talk in a year's time, where would you want to be? Would you want to be there, to sit there with the WBC on your shoulder, or anything?
Oh, I'd love it. I would. Or some sort of world title on my shoulder. That'd be the dream, I think. To be talking to you in a year's time, maybe with a world title strap around me. But that's what I'm aiming for anyway.
All eyes on Marcel Braithwaite though first, yeah?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, that's the job at hand, and that's what we focused on. And training and everything has gone excellent as it goes. 7 weeks of camp we had, and we just blasted it, and I'm feeling great there.
Excellent. So this will be out probably this week. So if you are free on Sunday, where can we watch it, Jay? Or not? Is it IFL TV they're streaming it on?
That's the one, IFL TV, YouTube. So get on that, tune in. I'd like to shout out to my sponsors as well, if you don't mind. A&R Specialists, Limitless, Sealift, M Body Coach, 420 CBD. I think that's it.
Excellent. Nothing more to add, Jay?
No, that's awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Jay. And remember to hit the subscribe button before you leave, and hopefully in a few weeks' time, Hass will be back to film the next episode of On the Canvas. Thank you very much. See you again later.